Hi everyone, it's Donna Robertson with Fabric Cafe. Thanks for joining us today for our Thursday show. And we are going to color. We had some real colorful fabric and everybody was so excited. I just had to get busy and buy some more beautiful, colorful fabrics to show you. For those of you who are joining me for the first time, we specialize in 3-yard quilt kits and 3-yard quilt patterns. We have over 100 designs that are published, and we have 7 books in print. Each one of the books has 8 patterns, and each pattern is written for 3 sizes. So with 3 yards, you can make a lap quilt. So whenever you're looking on the inside, you'll see all of these nice black and white diagrams that step you right along in your quilting. And then we have the lap size, a twin size, and a king queen. You need one 3-yard kit to make a lap. You need 2 3-yard quilt kits to make a twin, and you need 4 to make a king queen. So that's the basis of our show. And then I'm going to show you 3-yard quilt kits today. And we do have these on our website, fabriccafe.com. So if you want to visit our website, then you will be able to see a lot of these. We'll give you the name and the number. We always put the newest ones on top, so whenever you go and you click on 3-yard quilt kits, the first thing that come up will be our newest patterns. We also have a section called Last Chance. These are quilts that we're starting to run out of the fabric, and so if you've been looking at them, you can go there and check them out and pick up the last ones that are still available. So with no further ado, let's get started. Our very first one today, and I told you they were going to be colorful. Is that not just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous fabrics? And this one is called Hawaiian Waters. And before I start turning the fabrics for you to see, I'd like for you to see the pattern that we've chosen is corner play, and this is the kit that Natalie is holding up. Now this one, I do have this fabric still on the web, don't we, John? I'm pretty sure. I think we still have this on the web. I should have checked on that. But this has been a real popular kit, so it may be getting towards the end. But we do have, you can just put corner play in the search box and it'll bring up everything that's using the corner play pattern. This has been a very popular pattern for us, and we feel like that these colors would look great in this. And we actually have 2 kits that are that I'm going to show you that use corner play. So with no further ado, we are suggesting this to be your number 1 fabric, that beautiful swirl. And again, we're calling this Hawaiian Waters. That is the book that the pattern is in is pretty darn quick, but it also has the individual pattern. And then we picked up the teal out of both pieces because both pieces have the teals and the greens and the aqua colors. So aren't those gorgeous? This would make a beautiful quilt. Now let's have that quilt up here on the table and I'll show you where those fabrics would go. The way that we've placed them, we've put this in our number 1 position. This is your number 2 position, and then your number 3 position is this one. So whenever you start putting this together, that's the way it would look. And the number 2 position back here causes your design to really show up better when you have the lighter color in the background. Now we have a 1 only kit. I'm going to pull this one over here and show you this one. This one is a last chance. It's the last one of this kit, and we are recommending again the corner play. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous fabric. It just almost looks like it's backlit. It has such pretty colors to it. And this would be your fabric number 1, your number 2, and your number 3. Now remember, whenever you're picking your positions for your fabrics, that your number 2 is like your background fabric that causes the design of the quilt to pop off of the quilt surface. Can you see that without any glare?
A little bit. There you go.
Okay. So this one shows you that light color is your number 2, and you can see how it makes the other colors of the quilt design just kind of pop off of the background. All right, so this one again is called Living Bold Corner Play. There's only one left in our last chance section. All right, the next one is called Rainbow Connection. This is just fun, fun, fun fabric. And this one has this great, well, what would you, it's almost like a watercolor, I guess, kind of a marbly watercolor. Bright orange and a beautiful purple with that. So you're really going to get a great looking quilt. Now this one we recommend the pinwheel pattern, and the pinwheel, the way that we use this one is that you get to pick which position you want to put your fabric in. I personally would put this great bold print out on the outside edge or your border, so it would actually be able to be used in the number 3 position, where your light color would be orange and your dark color would be the purple. So your pinwheel in the middle would be these great 2 colors, and I would put this on the border. And let's look at this particular quilt so you can see it. This one is done with some batiks that we had. This is a great batik, but again, I would put the bright color out here. But because you can use any fabric in any one of 3 positions, you get to choose how you would like it. If you wanted to use those triple colors here with the orange and put the purple out here, that would be pretty cool too. All you have to do is make sure that you cut everything that I tell you to cut out of the position, so you don't decide you want the block to be number 1 fabric and then the borders to be number 1 fabrics. You have to cut them the way that I say, and everything within that position. So this one's called Rainbow Connection. The kit number is 8020282. We're recommending the pinwheel, and it's also available in the 3-Yard Quilt Favorites book, which is a download only book. Now remember, if you're buying kits, if you buy 3 kits, you can choose one of our books free instead of the patterns. The books have 8 patterns. Every pattern is written for 3 sizes. If you buy 3 kits, you can pick the book free. Or if you want to stay with the individual patterns, then you can pick the individual patterns and get 3 patterns. So that's your choice, either a free book with 3 kits or an individual pattern with each kit. Now the next one, for those of you who like purple, you're going to like this one. And this one, we're recommending that you use the Attraction pattern. Attraction is one that's from the Easy Peasy book. I'll show you the book as well, so if you wanted to pick a book, you can see this one was the background quilt on that cover. It's also available in individual pattern. Your kit number is 8020280, and we're calling this one Textures. It's using the Attraction pattern. And let's look at these colors. Aren't those great? Now we did something a little different here. A lot of times we'll use 2 batiks and 1 regular cotton fabric, but this time we're using 1 batik. So this has a batik in the middle, and then we have the dark purple here. So the blue carries over, and then the purple carries over to make these a great combination. Now let's look at that here. Natalie's holding up Attraction, and Attraction has the, you know, I better double check myself here before I tell you, but I think that the aqua is your number 1 fabric. Oh, I was right. Okay. It's been a few days since I wrote this pattern, but this is your number 1 fabric, is the aqua, and then your number 2 is the green. And now see how the green is basically the background of the quilt, so it really makes your quilt block pop. And then your number 3 fabric is your purple, and it ends up out on the edge with your binding. Binding is included with each of the 3-yard kits. It is a 1 1/4 inch binding, or single fold economy binding, and we do have a tutorial on our website, fabriccafe.com. So this one is called Attraction.
And that's some beautiful back or quilting on that one too.
Oh, that is. Would you like to see the back on that one?
If it'll show.
Oh, now the front shows better than the back because we have a polka dot on it.
Yeah.
But let's turn it back around so you can see the front and focus on that great.
Yeah, it shows up great on the front.
Yeah, love that one. All right. Now the next colorful one that we have for you is called Bold and Beautiful 2. Now, if you were watching the other day, we did have the Bold and Beautiful fabric, and we sold out very quickly. We were able to get more of this fabric, so we have it up on the web, but I think we may have put different fabrics with it this time. We can't always get all three of those fabrics again. So let's look at these fabrics, and we're suggesting the Diamond Dust pattern. The Diamond Dust is also available in the Modern Views book. So if we bring that over here, you can see the Modern Views book, and Diamond Dust is one of the patterns in that book. So if you're looking to get a free book with 3 kits, that's the Modern Views. Okay, we'll look at these fabrics and then we'll look at the quilt. This is your fabric number 1. Now your fabric number 2, I'm going to set this aside. The fabric number 2 is a batik that is an ombre. So if you get your fabric, it's going to be almost like having multiple fabrics because it shades, and it shades from the awesome green over to a really light blue. So see how that just shades out? And that gives your quilt so much more interest having that ombre in the mix. So we've got this pretty green ombre, and then we have a beautiful blue in the background. And it just ties together beautifully with bringing out the greens and the blue in your number 1 fabric. Okay, so this is Diamond Dust, and it's made in, let's see, QT's fabric line. Can you remember the name of this fabric line? I think this, is it Bohemia? But this is a gorgeous fabric, and we do have this fabric online as well. So if you really like this made up, I do have that one available online. And if you're looking at your quilt, you'll see that your fabric number 1 is this, your fabric number 2 is this, and your fabric number 3 is your darkest. And I do want to point out to you that this is a little different pattern than a half square triangle. So if you've never made it, these are half rectangle blocks, and they are made differently. So if you want to learn a little technique, this is a good quilt for that. And if you look real closely, can you see the big star? This is the center of the star, and it actually makes a great big star right in the center of your design. It's really a cool pattern. I like that one a lot. Okay, so this one is called Bold and Beautiful. It's the Diamond Dust pattern recommendation, or if you're going for the 3 kits and a free book, it's Modern Views. All right.
So Penny just commented, what fun it must be to coordinate fabrics.
It is a lot of fun, and we have one coming up where we're going to talk about coordination. I always give you little hints along the way, but I'm going to be doing a special segment on that in the near future.
And you should mention, that's what we do in this room.
Yeah, this is my room. This is my room. This is my playpen. I can come in here and I buy fabrics, and a lot of times I buy fabrics specifically to coordinate together. And then if I just see fabrics I like, this is my stash that you're looking at. So I buy them because I like them, and then I can come in here and I can start pulling bolts of fabric and coordinating. And sometimes I'll pull 4, 5, 6 before I get exactly what I like best of all. So I spend a little bit of time coordinating the fabrics. All right, this one is called Pina Colada. And I can just hear the song in my head, you know, that, do you like pina coladas? I'm not going to sing. Y'all would rather me not do that.
It's appropriate since it's raining here in East Texas.
Oh, yeah. It's been pretty wet and humid lately. So this is a moda fabric that we just got in, and I thought it was so cute and so bright and colorful. And we are recommending Town Square on this one. Now, Town Square is from the book easy peasy. And I've shown you this one for 2 or 3 of these quilts. We had the attraction quilt, and did we have another one? Not yet. I guess this is the second one we've shown you today. So this pattern is either available as an individual or in the book Easy Peasy. Now these are our 3 fabrics, our focus fabric, and then once we pick out the focus fabric, we start looking for our lights and our darks. And this just worked out beautifully, picking up the greens in the focus fabric, and then we started looking for the peachy color to go with that, and it just makes up very, very nicely with those 3 colors. Now let's look at the recommended pattern. We are recommending Harmony for this. This is a nice bright colorful one, so you can kind of visualize it. This particular pattern, Harmony, is in our Easy Does It quilt. So let's bring this over here and we'll show this one, and we'll put these fabrics. It makes it easier to see whenever you can kind of visualize how these bright colors would look. So I would put this in my number 1 position, and that number 1 position would be this, and then your light color is the green, and that would go in the background here. Then your peach color would go out here. And once again, if you wanted to change it around, you could very easily swap those colors as long as you cut swap positions. So you could put this in this block and have it out here on the border too. Now when you're looking at the, I'm going to get the Easy Does It, and let's bring up Harmony. Let's see, Harmony. It is right here. Okay, here it's done, the same pattern is done in muted colors, much more of the down tones. But when you're looking at the pattern, you always get a black and white diagram like this, and we put the polka dot is your number 1. So when you get up close to this, you can see that there's a polka dot position, there's a black position is your number 3, and the number 2 is your number 1 position. So if you kind of think about it when you're looking at it, your print is going to be one of your largest surfaces. So here's your number 1 right here. That's going to be that larger surface. And then the background color, again, is your number 2 position. And then your number 3 position normally ends up in the outside edge in your border or your binding. Okay, number on this one is 8020277. It's called Pina Colada, and that one is either an individual pattern. We are because the Harmony pattern is not available. I'm sorry, I'm not saying that right. Harmony is only available in Easy Does It. Oh, do I pick up the wrong one? I did. Okay, thank you, John. He's pointing for me. We are recommending Town Square as an alternate pattern. So we showed you the one we were holding up is Harmony. The alternate pattern is the Town Square, and Harmony is an Easy Does It. The Town Square is an Easy Peasy. Now the really fun thing is that any 3 yards of fabric will work with any one of our patterns. So you can get very, very creative whenever you start picking out your patterns and your fabrics, and just have a lot of fun with that. Okay, the next quilt that we're going to show you is the windmill pattern. And here's one. This would be great for a kid's quilt. This particular one is in the Quilts for Kids book, or it's an individual pattern. So this is the book. It has 8 great patterns in it. And then this is the pattern here in the individual form. So let's look at this one, John. Let's look at the quilt, and then we'll talk about what we're going to put where. So in this particular case, here's your largest print, and this is your number 1 fabric. I do not have this fabric available, but this is the number 1 fabric. The number 2 is your green. I'm sure all of you are starting to be able to pick that background color up now, and that is the green. And then the number 3 is that bold windmill in the middle, and it also ends up out here on the border. So if we look at that here, go ahead and bring the quilt over here, Natalie, and we'll talk about that. So here's our number 1 fabric, and that would be here. Then your blue would be where the green is. And then we went with another print. These are out of the same line of fabric. That would be here in your dark here and here. Now this is another good example of how to coordinate fabrics. We could have put any number of colors with this because we had so many, but we felt like that the blue tied the two together really well. And if you look closely, you'll see that little aqua color blue in the background of both of these fabrics. So that's one of the ways that I go about pulling them together. Alrighty. All right, the next one is called Bold Blues. Let's look at the quilt first on this one. Now this particular one, I do not have the fabric for this. It is out of my newest book, Quick as a Wink. So if you don't have Quick as a Wink yet, I'm going to pull this over here. That one is in this book, and it's even showing a little bit of it here on the cover. So this particular one called Quick as a Wink, and in this case we are recommending this fabric, and it is a beautiful splashy blue like this. So here's your fabric number 1, and we put this with, these are regular fabrics. This is a batik, and it does shade with the yellows and greens. See how those kind of tie together? And then we've got our blue for our number 3. So these are our 3 colors that we recommend for this one. And again, this would be your background color, and then you would have your focus fabric and your number 3. So 1, 2, 3. The number is 8020278, Bold Blues. The name of the pattern in the quilt that we showed you is Soho. That one is available only in the book Quick as a Wink. So that one is right here. And if you want to buy 3 kits, you can get that book free. Or, you know, you can buy the book by itself, $15.99 if you prefer. The alternate pattern that we're suggesting is Tumbling Triangles. That's a really fun quilt kit, a quilt pattern as well. So that's the one. And we would put this bold number 1 fabric out on the border in this case, with these 2 being your pinwheel.
So we've got 2 quick questions.
All right.
What's the number of the blocks underneath the bold? 2 kits ago.
2 kits ago, not this one. The Pina Colada or the 2 blues?
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah, what was the number on that?
Okay, so this one right here. Let's make sure we're giving them the right one.
I think that's the one that you were wanting to see, Peggy.
Just a second, I have to find my piece of paper. Windmill. Okay, this is the one. 8020281. And
Perfect.
It's called Square-tastic, and it's the windmill. Now remember, if you ever wanted to, you could just go to our search box and put in the name of the pattern, and you can bring up everything on our site that uses the windmill pattern. So that's also a fun way to search for it, so you can see it in different fabrics, or see different fabrics that we recommend.
And then the second question was by Sarah. Should your batiks or red fabrics be pre-washed?
That's a good question, and I say most people can have different preferences. With reds, I think you at least ought to test a corner of it. If you're using 3 one-yard cuts, you absolutely should overcast your raw edges. Most batiks have been washed with very, very hot water, but they are hand dyed. So you might use a color catcher, or Centropol, or Retain. And those 2 of those, Centropol and Retain, can usually be found either online or through a quilt shop. The color catchers, you can buy those at the grocery store. Do not ever leave a newly washed quilt in your washing machine, because when it's wet, lying up against, itself, it might bleed a little bit. So I always recommend that you set your timer and you stand there by that washing machine, and when it gets through spinning, you take the quilt out right away, just to be on the safe side. I personally do not pre-wash a lot of my fabrics because I like working with brand new fabrics. If you do wash them, overcast the edges, resize them with something like Mary Ellen's Best Press, and before you cut your fabrics, and it makes it a lot easier.
Cool.
And you can just test a little scrap of your fabric with getting it wet. Maybe put a little bit of the soap. Don't put a lot of soap on it, because your detergent is going to be like a capful in a whole washing machine. So you just need a little bit mixed in the water, and then put a little piece in there, swish it around, and then press it between a couple of paper towels to see if it's bleeding. That's the best way to test a little corner of it if you don't want to wash. Okay, that was a lot of words, Sarah, but I hope I got the point across.
Everybody loved it.
Okay, good. Okay, this one is called Kitty Capers. Now, you've seen us show you the kitty capers several different times. We even have one kit made up, but we still had some of the kitties, but we had run out of the companion fabrics and no longer could get them. So we chose a couple of colors that would just look awesome. And these are the ones that we chose. Now John, let's go ahead and show them the kit, because it is nice. Now see, I do not have this fabric or this fabric any longer, but I do have those kitties. This one is called Lickety Split. Lickety Split is in Fast and Fun 3-yard quilts, and that is this book, Fast and Fun 3-yard quilts, and here is the Lickety Split. And I named this Lickety Split because it is done in a strip pieced method, and it goes together so fast that it'll make your head go, wow, that was amazing. So let's put that up here, and we'll show that one with these new fabrics so you can see what we would do. So I don't have to fold this up, because you can see the kitties are going to go right there. And then we could do the purple in this square, so you can kind of see how pretty that would be. And then the black would go in between. So this is the black that we've chosen. And it's kind of lightened up with a little floral design on it. So this one would be a really pretty quilt, and a good substitute for these other fabrics. And this is one way for you to think about doing your own stash when you're looking for things. Sometimes you have multiple prints, and then sometimes you have a gorgeous print and you don't have any prints that go with it. All you have to do is just go ahead and look for some tone on tone or the modeled fabrics, and they look really good made up in the quilts as well. So this one is called Kitty Capers 2, because we used to have Kitty Capers 1. The pattern that we're showing you is Lickety Split from Fast and Fun. An alternate pattern is Pretty Simple, and I think I've lost my, here it is. I get all this stuff up here. Okay, so this one is the alternate pattern, and that's Pretty Simple. It's also, this pattern is available in the Quilt Favorites book, which is a download only pattern. So and you can get the downloadable patterns as your selection for a book. And the way you do that is you just go ahead and order your 3 kits, select the book deal, and it's right there on the kit. You either select book deal or the pattern that we recommend, or you want to choose your own pattern. And then when we process your order, we will send you a code that is unique to you, and you can go there and download that book for your free book.
So we have one other question by Rhonda. Can we order different yards amounts of your materials?
You can, like if you wanted to make it larger, you can order 2 kits and make a twin. 4 kits will make a king queen. If you just want yardage of the fabrics, we have some of our fabric on the web, but we don't have it all on the web. If you see a particular fabric that you would like, or if you buy a kit and want extra fabric, we recommend that you send us a picture of what you're looking for, and we can see if we still have it in stock. We do have fabrics on our website, but we don't necessarily carry everything that we put into a kit, because if I have one bolt each of 3 fabrics, I cut it all for kits. All right. The next one, I don't know why this little fabric just makes me smile, but I love, love, love this fabric. It must be my bohemian heart or something. I just love it though. So this would be a lot of fun, and it would just really be a bright and cheery quilt for somebody that likes that kind of wild fabric like I do, or for a kid. You know, you know who that somebody is. This is the companion fabric for this, and as you can see, you've got your light color background, so you've got your fabric 1, your fabric 2, and then this one is your fabric 3. It's the darkest, but we still have some pattern in there. I like this fabric. We are recommending Sweet Times. Sweet Times is an individual pattern here. It's also in the book Easy Peasy. We've shown you this one several times. Easy Peasy is one of those books that has all squares. There are no half square triangles, so they all go together very, very fast. And we'll go over here and look at the pattern. This is a cute Lorelei camper fabric. We're out of that right now, but maybe we'll be able to get that back in. It always goes really fast. We recommend that you put your big print here, and then you'll border one of them with one of your fabrics, like your number 2 fabric, and then you border one with your number 3 fabric. And so it really is a cute way to set off a bold print like we have here. So that one would be very, very cute.
And again, beautiful quilting on that one.
Yes, it is. Can you see it on the back better? Sometimes you can see it on the back. We always like to show you the back. Yeah, that looks great. Yeah, that one's really cute. Okay, we better move right along here. I love Paisleys. I used to have, I guess I must be getting old. I keep flashing back, but I see this pink Paisley, and it was a little bit more pastel-y, but I had a Paisley suit back in the 60s. It was the cat's meow, let me tell you. Well, in fact, I think, John, you were a little baby, and I think that was the suit I was wearing on Easter whenever you know that little picture of you with the little ducky? We had a little duck. That was my pink Paisley Easter suit.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why these things pop in my head, but here, we got pink Paisley.
Now we're going to have to share the picture.
Yeah, we'll have to find that picture. John's just a little, I don't know, you must have been about 15. No, you were probably just a little
9,
maybe.
No, I was just walking.
Like 6
or I was standing.
Oh, we don't remember, but he wasn't very big, and we had a live duck, and I'm sitting out on the lawn in my pink Paisley suit. It was the greatest Easter outfit I ever had. Okay, so we've got pink Paisleys, and we're recommending the Sugar Pie pattern, and that one is an individual pattern like this, and it's also in the book Pretty Darn Quick. So we'll show you that cover, and here is the pattern for that one. And our patterns, we have our fabric number 1, we have our light pink for our number 2, and then we have a green for our number 3. So these are very pretty, and here is the quilt. So this one is the Sugar Pie pattern, and we even have it in pinks and yellows, so you might be able to get the idea. I think we still have some of this on the web as well.
Yes.
So one thing is that whenever we make a quilt, we normally buy quite deep so that we have lots of that fabric, because once you see it make it up, you love it. But due to our current situation, some of my brand new quilt models, I will get enough to make the model, and I'll order the fabric to be delivered at a later date. And things that I thought were going to be here in April are still not here. So somewhere around August or September, I'm supposed to get a lot of the fabric for the book Quick as a Wink. I was checking today, and there are several quilts in this book, and the fabric will not be here until August or September. And the book came out this month, and we thought we would have all that fabric by now. So we apologize for keeping you in suspense for some of these great fabrics. But this one was in our last book before Quick as a Wink, and we do have it available. It got here before the madness all started. Okay, now we're going to show you some last chance real quick. These are only a few quilts that are available. Remember, we were showing you, I think it was the very first one. Is that the same fabric? Very similar to another one that we showed you early on. But we only have one of these left. It sold like hotcakes. And so this one, the pattern number, and then Sunset is the name. We're recommending the illusion pattern, and here is the pattern. It's also available in our book, Modern Views. So Modern Views is the book. Then we're not going to show you quilts on these. We're just going to run through them really quick like. So focus fabric, number 2, and number 3. All beautiful fabrics and would look very good made in the illusions. Then the next one that we have 3 of these. And this is a Free Spirit fabric here. So if you're a Free Spirit fan, you're going to love this one. It has a focus fabric. It has the light purple. And then we coupled that with a stripe that has the pink, purple, and yellow in it. So it just really pulls them all together. Very, very cool. That one we recommend the porch rails. There are 3 of these left. Porch rails is also available and pretty darn quick. Your number and the name of the kit. Here's another one that I just think is gorgeous. I guess you can tell I like color. Okay, only one of these left, but we wanted you to see it. This is just beautiful. I love these fabrics. So we have our fabric 1, 2, and 3. This one would be gorgeous in the Byzantine door. And you would have your 2, I would put this as my sashing. So this would be 1 block, this would be 1 block. And some people couldn't see that this is an orange and purple, and this one is greens and blues. So there really are alternating blocks in here. And I would alternate those 2 fabrics with this one. There's only one of these left. We recommend the Byzantine door pattern. And then another one, just one left. And remember, we do have a section now called Last Chance. This one, we only have one left of this. And I'm trying to remember whose fabric this one is, but I don't see it on the, I don't see the name of the fabric. But anyway, we have these 3 different colors with your focus, your number 2 and your number 3. There's only one left. This is Feathers in the Wind. Your number, the particular pattern, we're recommending the same one, the Byzantine door. Put these 2 in your blocks and use this as your sashing. It would look gorgeous. Or you could do these 2 in your blocks and this one is your sashing. Only one left of that one. Then this one is Teal Temptations. This one's really fun. And your focus fabric, your number 2, and your number 3. We have one of these left. It's called Teal Temptations. Here's your kit number, 8020289. We're recommending the gallery pattern from Modern Views, and it's a last chance, only one left of that. Then another one, last chance, And there's only one of these. So we have this great medallion like flower, because they all have stems, so they're really just pretty kaleidoscope flowers, aren't they? And the number 2 fabric is your cream and yellow, with the green as your number 3. So this is a last chance. We're recommending So Fast. Tuscany is the name of this one. So Fast is your pattern. There's only one left, and the number is 8020290. So that's Color Your World. That's what we wanted to show you today, that we had lots of beautiful, colorful fabrics. We got another great show for you next Tuesday at 4 o'clock live, and we hope that you'll join us for that. It's Donna Robertson with
I was going to say, I'm going to turn the camera around, because there's been a couple of people here that were wanting to see who's behind the camera.
This is my baby
hi,
boy.
Everybody. I'm not wearing my glasses because I can't see the phone when I'm wearing them. Oh well.
He's the voice of Fabric Cafe.
and also, you know, hey, if you're looking for some cutting supplies, rotary cutters and things like that, or you need a new mat, they need to go over and see Charlie at his website at olfadeals.com.
That's Olfa, OLFADEALS, deals.com.
So we'll put it in the notes here in just a second.
Charlie is a good friend of ours, and you know, we don't have any quilt shows going on, and so we're kind of plugging each other here, because we want you to know if you need some Olfa blades or Olfa cutters or Olfa mats, then Charlie's got you covered. So go see him at olfadeals.com. Thanks for joining us.
Bye, everybody.